Bill Stanton, who's a private investigator and a former New York City police officer. And he offered his take on the charges against those 6 Baltimore police officers.
Many of these charges, I think, will not stand under the weight of its own merit, meaning premeditation, that they intentionally went to murder and kill this person. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think they overcharged, and I think that's very well may be the DA's undoing. There's a lot of hyperbole, there's a lot of vitriol going on, and I think there's pandering on some of these public officials to serve up these officers. You know, show me the proof, and if the proof stands, then let's find them guilty and punish them just.
Well, obviously, you're pointing out here your questions about, this concept of premeditation, and you yourself, you were on the beat. What is it like, when you have someone, you put them into custody? Obviously, officers, you say that they wouldn't intend to do this, you're saying.
No,
so
I
you
mean,
think that would play into this case?
Listen, I think just like in any profession, like journalists, like lawyers, like doctors, like politicians, we come upon bad ones. But the overwhelming majority of police officers in this country go out there putting their lives on the line every day, and they take that oath to protect and serve. That being said, there is a very small percentage of cops that are bad. And I don't, as I said before, I don't call them cops, I call them criminals. Now, whether these officers had intent, I have yet to see that. What I do know is there's a person dead.
But Bill, I have to ask a question, though. I mean, if you're, and again, from your experience on the beat, if you hear someone in the back of the van, allegedly, screaming or yelling in bad shape, wouldn't the officers, know to stop? I mean, that's the question of this case. Wouldn't they know to stop and check on him?
Yes, and you know what? Those questions will be asked and answered. Many times you will have perpetrators that will scream and moan and lie, and they will look to spit on you and bite on you and look to do you harm. You check them, they may, I don't know, do you know, did the officers ask him, are you okay? He may have said yes, he may have said no. We don't know. That's going to all come out in trial. So there are a lot of questions. We could talk about things we think we know, but we won't know for sure until this trial plays out. So I don't want to convict these officers, and I don't want to call them innocent, but I'm going to be curious to see how these charges are going to stick. It's fascinating to me, where you get the intent, how these officers colluded to murder this young man. I just don't see that as happening.
The charges are certainly out there. The indictments now stand, and you point out doubts that will certainly play factor in this case. Bill Stanton, we appreciate your insight, former New York City police officer and private investigator. Thank you. Also in the U.S., officials in Texas